Well, hello, 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 hello. Welcome to another edition of Sideline Banter with your girl Tink. What it is, y'all? We done survived another week. We survived another week. Look at God. Won't he do it? Won't he will? Okay? Listen. We is back, y'all. The sideline has been bantering. Okay. There's a lot of stuff that done popped off this week. Specifically with the National Basketball League, aka the NBA. Of course, when we last bantered, y'all know I love wordplay. But last week we talked about, of course, the New York Knicks winning the NBA Finals, defeating the San Antonio Spurs. So, congratulations again to the New York Knicks. Well deserved win. First championship in 53 years. So, I do want to give a shout out to them. Uh, we also have the World Cup that's going on. I haven't been able to watch as much, but I'm gonna go ahead on and start tuning in because I think the US of A. Yeah. We're in a good spot. We're in a good spot. So um, also, of course, with the NBA, we have the NBA draft that was just completed on Tuesday night. That was the first night, and then of course the final night was on Wednesday. So I want to say this is the first year that they've done the two nights. So it was a little bit different this year. Of course, everyone knows that this particular draft was very, very stacked. Like this freshman class that we had is one of the best freshman class that we've seen in a long time. So it it was a draft that, yeah, I wanted to watch all the way through to see where everyone landed. And I did. Now there were a few surprises, which we shall discuss and get into. I do want to shout out the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, of course, my Tar Heels, who fell short of winning the men's college baseball World Series earlier this week. So Oklahoma was just a bit too much. I mean, they wanted it more. No, they didn't start off the season the best. From my understanding, Oklahoma was not even ranked, but they got hot at the right time, which was right before the playoffs, and they wasn't playing no games. So UNC did not sweep. They did not get swept. So they lost the first game, won game two, and of course on Monday, Oklahoma went ahead and finished it up. It's a little bit of controversy going around there. Apparently, the one of the umpires who, yeah, I was scratching my head a little bit at him for a few of the calls that he made as in regards to pitching. Some pitches he called a ball that were clearly a strikes and vice versa. So, but the controversy is that the umpire was I don't know if he's a fan of Oklahoma University or if he is a or if he knows or is a fan or if he went there, whatever. But there were pictures of him in Oklahoma gear. So for some, that creates a conflict of interest. I'm the type of person, I don't like making excuses. So we didn't play our best. Could that have something to do with the way the game was officiated or whatever, or the way the umpire was? Maybe, but I will still congratulate Oklahoma. They played great ball throughout the playoffs, which is why they won ultimately, in my opinion. So, but still, UNC, you got there, you played great. This was a great season. I feel like this is the best team that they've had in a while, but it's neither here nor there. Moving on to the NBA draft, the bulk of us today in the banter we're going to be talking about is going to be this NBA draft. We are going to touch on the WNBA because there is some things that's been going on there, but I'm gonna save that for my closeout. Now with the NBA draft, okay, of course you have your mock drafts that comes out of who's going where. So the top 10, which actually surprised me because there was a couple that slid in that top 10 that I did not have on my bingo card. Okay. So, of course, the number one pick was between AJ DeBansta, and Darren Peterson. Now, Darren Peterson, heck of a player, heck of a offensive player. He was the number one ranked player at one point. But his elite shot creating, his three-level scoring, his defensive instincts, he's a fluid 6'6" guard. He can take over games with his shot making, with creating his own offense. But there were concerns with him as far as being available. So he very well, I mean, I know he was injured. There were some issues with injury. At one point, no one knew what it was. They said it was cramping. So we never got the full story on what exactly was going on with him. And that comes into question. So I always had a question mark next to him because of that, not because of his lack of skill, but I mean, you're only as good as you can. I mean, if you're not available, you're not that good, are you? I mean, you got to be available. You can, at least that's me. But of course, then you had AJ DeBesta at BYU. He also was, actually, AJ was always, from my understanding, always stated to be the number one pick. And then boom, Darren Peterson comes in like, I don't know, bro. I got something to say about that. But AJ, a 6'9" wing, very, very, very explosive player. Hell, like, I mean, athleticism out of this world. Polished footwork, three-level scoring ability. He does thrive in transition. I would not want him in isolation because you probably gonna get cooked like a turkey on Thanksgiving. This is simple. His ceiling is enormous, and I can really see him being someone's franchise player. I can definitely see an organization, a franchise building around him because of how good he is. His only question mark is his three-point consistency, but I believe that's going to grow in time. That's going to get better for him if he works on it, and I believe that he will. Especially if he goes to the right team that's able to help develop that three-point shooting, and just to develop it into a better all-around two-way player. I definitely can see that for him. You also had from Duke University forward Cameron Boozer, who is the son of one of the great Duke alums and Chicago Bulls former player, Carlos Boozer. Cameron Boozer might be the most polished, fundamental player in this draft. And that says a lot because I don't like praising anything Duke affiliated. Hey, I'm a UNC fan, simple. But Boozer is the epitome of his father. And I mean that in every sense of the word. As far as playing, he has footwork. He can shoot the three. He can score inside. He can run the offense as a point forward at times. He definitely quickly adapts to defense. Like, his basketball IQ is out of this world. He can quickly adapt. You can be in a 2-3 zone, and if you switch it, he's gonna know what you're gonna. He's gonna catch on that fast and notice that you switched it. His only question mark could be some of his athleticism. He has a very limited vertical pop. He sometimes can, I don't want to say slow, but he has his faults. Sometimes he's aggressive, sometimes he's not. And I think that just very well depends on who is actually guarding him and who's playing against him, if that makes sense. But his skill, strength, shooting, he can adapt. He checks all the rest of the boxes. I want to say he's the safest pick in the draft. And he ended up at Memphis, which I'm not sure how I feel about that, but we'll discuss that in a second. You also have my favorite, and I'm probably biased, but hey, Caleb Wilson from North Carolina. Go Heels. That man said, "What a camera at? Go Heels. What a camera at? Go Heels." Okay, I'm here for it. Wilson there were times where I thought he was overlooked because they would always say, well, he's not better than Cam. He's not better than AJ. He's not better than Darren. And I'm just like, are we watching the same Caleb Wilson? We can't be. But Caleb, take it with a grain of salt, because my man said, I'm not gonna prove you wrong. I'm gonna prove myself right. That's what he said. And I love that for him. Chicago, take care of my boy. But Caleb is probably the most athletic player in this draft. And I mean on both ends of the ball. He is a hell of a defensive player. He's a hell of a damn offensive player. Averaging 19 points, 9 rebounds, and he shot 57%, 57.8% to be exact from the field before he was injured. He definitely has to work on his 3-point shooting, but he didn't shoot a lot either from 3. But he wasn't horrible, but it could definitely improve. And if he definitely improves that, good luck to whoever got a guard. Okay, good luck. That's all I got. Definitely cannot wait to see what he does in the league with the Chicago Bulls. That is where he was headed. They do question his outside shooting. Some say his consistency, but I don't see that. Every time I've seen the kid on the court, he delivered. He absolutely delivered. And I know he's going to do the same in the NBA. I know at one point they were saying that he can only score by dunking, and he went ahead and debunked that theory in the Duke game. He just shot mid-range jump shots, and baby, listen, they didn't touch the rim. So as he always say, he's gonna prove himself right. Okay. There was Keaton Wagler from Illinois. He was a breakout freshman this year. Definitely, his combination of his size, pace, his shot making, it pretty much pushed him into that top 10 lottery pick conversation. The scouts loved his poise, his pick and roll command. He's a great decision maker. But there is one question, which was, the strength of his defense. And I think that comes with a lot of the freshmen is, defense. Can you play great defense? Because maybe many say that defense doesn't really matter, but in my opinion, defense wins games. Defense wins championships. Yes, you do have to have an offensive bag, but if you can't stop your opponent, yeah, y'all do with that whatever you make, do with that how you see fit. Brayden Burries from Arizona, a great dynamic guard with strong scoring instincts. His playmaking did improve throughout the season. He could definitely make tough shots, which gives him make him a little bit dangerous in that backcourt. So, but he was inefficient, and sometimes, of course, that defense. Y'all work on your defense, kid. Kingston Fleming out of Houston, one of the most explosive guards in the class. His defense and his ability to attack the gaps makes him very, very dangerous. I did notice that about him. That's why I put it in my notes. So, but yeah, his only question might be he could clean up his playmaking. It did get better throughout the season, but he can polish it up a little bit more. But yeah, he gonna make some noise in the league if he's on, with him landed with the right, if he lands with the right team. Yaxel Lindenberg from Michigan, he is one that fell out of the top 10 that really, really shocked me. I didn't have it on my bingo card. Definitely the Big Ten player of the year. He also, I want to say, was first team all Big Ten and just came down for winning a natty. Winning my natty. But his strength is his switchability. He can finish at the rim, but his only question would be like his shooting range. So he can shoot the ball, but can he shoot it from deep, which is what most would want. Then you had from Arkansas, Darius Acuff, powerful scoring guard. Man, listen, I love watching him play. He a dog. I love watching that kid play. He can create his own shot. And let me tell you something. Put him in ISO if you want to. I don't want to guard him in ISO. He cooks. Okay? Yeah, that's him. The only thing, of course, with him would be his defensive consistency. And then you had Jaden Quaintance from Kentucky. You know, he was a very long, big, he had great shot blocking instincts. You know, he's very long. And that's tough to guard. He's very, very long, it's tough to guard. So I really cannot wait to see this draft class, especially now that they are actually in the league. Like it's about to be real. So I'm just gonna give you the top 10 um that made it in the first round. We got AJ, of course, he did go number one to the Washington Wizards. Darren Peterson went to the Utah Jazz. Cameron Boozer did end up in Memphis. Caleb Wilson ended up in Chicago. Keaton Wagler was drafted by the Clippers. Brooklyn drafted Michael Brown Jr. The Kings actually selected Darius Acuff Jr. The Hawks selected Kingston Fleming at number 8. At number 9, Morez Johnson Jr. Now, this was the one that threw me for a loop. Okay, threw me for a loop, y'all. I did not have him going in the top 10. I didn't have him in the top 15, maybe top 20, but definitely not the top 10. Most mock drafts that I saw had Morez Johnson Jr. at 14 coming to being drafted by the Charlotte Hornets. But yeah, they was like, nah, we're gonna get him now. And of course, at number 10, Braden Burries was drafted by the Bucks. Yaxo ended up going number 11 to Golden State. I think that is going to be a great fit for him. And then Adai Mara, also from Michigan, coming from that the state championship team. I mean, not state championship, national championship with Michigan. He was drafted by OKC. Some other big names that kind of fell was, of course, Nate Amon. He went to the Bucks, drafted him. But you know, he would have went to Miami, but of course, with the trade, and we're gonna get into them trades, we'll have him with the Bucks. Ibuka Okori from Stanford. Now, if you don't watch college basketball, you might not know who he is because he wasn't really in the media as the other, you know, the big 4 or 5. Okay, maybe top 10. But Ibuka Okori from Stanford, a walking bucket. When I tell you he gave UNC hell when we played them at Stanford, I mean hell. I know he at 30, he had a 30 ball. And I mean, he made it look easy. Nobody could stop him. I'm not surprised that he went 17. Shoot, I wouldn't have been surprised if he went in the top 10. Because he's just like that. Don't let the size fool you. Don't let it fool you. Jaden Quaintance, even though I mentioned him earlier, he ended up going number 20 to San Antonio. So he was drafted by them. Cameron Carr, of course, was drafted by the Knicks at number 24. And I'm trying to just see which other one stood out. You got Chris Sinak Jr. He was drafted by Boston. Let's see what other big ones. Oh, and the last one of the night was, well, round 1 anyway, was Koa Pete from Arizona. I was very surprised that he dropped that far. I would have expected him to go a little bit earlier. Because he can, yeah, he can hoop. But he was drafted by the Mavericks, but he ended up traded to Phoenix. Now, so Isaiah Evans went to Duke University, did enter the draft, was invited to the draft, and was invited to the green room. He was the only one that did not get drafted in the first round, on the first night, that was invited to the green room. I did not have him falling out of the first round. I had him late first round. I did not have him going into the second round. He did get drafted in the second round. He was number 33, and he was drafted by the Nets, but of course they have those draft rights, so he will be with the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm excited to see how that's gonna work for him. I think it'll be a great show to see him and Anthony Edwards play together. If Anthony is there when he gets there, but the way these trades going, y'all, you never know. You never know. And then of course with UNC, who also entered the draft, was Henry Vasar. And Henry will be playing in ATL. He was drafted by the Clippers. However, there was a trade, so we'll have him going to Atlanta because of that trade. The draft can be really tricky. It can be really, 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 really tricky, especially because there's so many trades that be happening behind the scenes before the kids are even drafted. So the biggest trades so far, of course, is Giannis, the Greek Freak, is headed to Miami. Him and Bobby Portis is headed to Miami. And the Bucks in return will get 4 players. They're gonna get hold on, who they got? They're getting Tyler Hero, Jamie Jacquez Jr., Khalil Ware, Kasparas. I don't even want to tear his name up, so I'm not. They also get 3 first-round picks, a pick swap, and a second-round pick for Giannis and Bobby Portis. They're gonna be in Miami. Bam and the Greek Freak. I'm interested to see how that work out. I am. Then you have, of course, I just mentioned Henry being traded to Atlanta. The Hawks did get the 52 pick, and the Clippers will get the 57th pick, plus, cash considerations. Isaiah Stewart was traded to the Memphis Grizzlies. The Pistons, in return, gets 3 future second-round picks. The Knicks, Rockets, Pistons, and Clippers have a multi-team shuffle that went on. The Rockets got number 31 draft pick, which was Bruce Thornton. The Knicks received the 39th pick, Jack Cahill, and they also get a 2029 second round pick. The Pistons received the number 53 pick, and the Clippers received the number 55 pick. The Lakers also was in the mix, so they moved around in the second round. They traded up to get number 24, which was Cameron Carr. And they bought the number 56 pick from the Bulls and flipped it to Dallas for cash. And let's see, the Thunder, what they did. So they swapped with the Heat. So the Heat will receive the number 37 pick, which is Ryan Conwell. The Thunder receives the number 41 pick, Ortega Owe, and some coins. The Pacers traded for the number 38 pick. They got Braden Smith. And the Bulls received Cam Jones plus future pick swaps, of course, and some money. Magic, Wizards, Bucks. There's a 3-team deal. The Wizards received the number 46 pick. The Magic received the number 50, the 51st pick. And the Bucks received the number 60 pick. So, and also the Kings, they traded to get the number 29 pick. So the Kings will get the 29 pick, which was Alex Caravan. And then the Cavs will receive the number 34 pick plus a 2032 second round pick. So the Spurs did from the Nuggets, they did acquire Terrence Reed Jr. So a lot of things that was shaken up in the draft. Everybody had their opinions on everything about it, especially when it came down to Isaiah Evans and Henry Vasar, because they dropped. Many think that, they should have came back to school for whatever reason. I mean, they entered the draft because, one, they talked to those that are guiding them, and they figured their best option was to enter the draft. Yes, they failed, but just because you fall too far doesn't necessarily mean it's a failure. I think Henry dropped as low as he did because he didn't really want to get any two-way contracts. He wanted to go somewhere where he would actually be on a roster. And I can understand that. Isaiah Evans, no, I did not have it on my bingo card that he would fall out that first round, but he did go into the second. So but I do think he's landed in the right place. So you just got to see how things plan out. But at the same time, we've seen where top 10 draft picks don't always pan out. We've even seen where some number 1 draft picks don't always pan out. Things happen. Things happen. So you just never know. You really do. You just never know. So I wouldn't be discouraged if I'm them. I wouldn't be discouraged. Just go ahead on and prove them why they shouldn't have waited on you, and why they shouldn't have left you there. You know, see what I'm saying? Like, just go. You let that be your motivation. Take it personal. It's fine. What are you gonna do to you? Nothing. So, but so yeah, congratulations to those that were drafted, able to meet, able to see that their work paid off. I mean, they've been preparing for that night their entire life. I do hate the fact that with Isaiah Evans, yes, I'm sure he's happy that he was drafted, but he was invited to the green room. His family was there, and I just think I would have loved to see him have that moment in New York. You know what I'm saying? On draft night, but again, congratulations to all the all the new draftees, the new players, the rookies. You're rookies now. You're rookies. Congratulations. Go ball out. Now, before I slide on up out of here, this WNBA, y'all, is getting spicy. You hear me? Spicy. Every time I turn around, it's some drama. So the latest drama is the Phoenix Mercury versus the Indiana Fever. Now, many know that I am a Caitlin Clark fan through and through. I'm actually a fan of women's sports, period. I love basketball, period. And I tell people all the time, I'm a fan of UNC. I'm a Los Angeles Laker fan. I love watching Caitlin Clark. I'm a Caitlin Clark fan, so I support the Indiana Fever. But I also just love basketball. But I love basketball more than I would, hate a rival team or anything like that. My love for basketball trumps everything. That being said, now, there's been a lot of physical play going on. There was definitely physical play going on at against the Fever and the Mercury. So they had back-to-back games, basically. Played them on Saturday, I believe, and then they played them again on Tuesday or Wednesday. But that's neither here nor there. So during that game, Alyssa Thomas, DeWanna Bonner, Caitlin, and Sophie Cunningham had a little bit of scuffling going on. Okay. And then in the last game, Caitlin was on the floor, and I didn't watch the game in its entirety, but I could see that Alyssa Thomas had her fist in her neck. Now, looking at it in slow motion, it looks bad. It looks intentional. But when you look at it in real time, it just looks like maybe she lost her balance. But it's hard to say that might have just been what it was, considering what happened in the previous game. The officiating in these games, and I'm not just saying it's against Caitlin, but it's across the board. The officiating across the board has been ridiculous. I'll say that. I'm okay with physical play, but when that physical play tinkers on you probably about to hurt somebody, I don't like that. And I feel like the referees need to go ahead on and address that and nip that in the bud, especially when they see a game is highly emotional and it's already chippy, it's already a bit physical. So I feel like they got to do more to get them under control. Yes, it'll be a tight game. We're going to hate it. But if it is to save or prevent things from escalating to the point of we're ready to fight, then you got to go ahead on and step in and nip that in the bud and call some fouls, whether it's technical fouls, flagrants, whatever. Now, Caitlin, I think Caitlin gets blamed for stuff that she has no control over. I will never understand why some people simply just hate her. I will never understand why people simply hate a player, period, because you don't personally know them. You just know what you see on the court and what they allow you to see publicly. Many say that Caitlyn is racist because she has racist fans. I mean, I don't I don't understand that. I don't get. She's never came out and said that she was a racist. She's never said anything that was racist. She's actually stated that those fans that act that way or doing these, trying to race bait or whatever, she don't even consider them fans. She considered them trolls. But because she don't constantly speak out against it, now she condones it. No. She just want to play basketball, and that's okay. That is okay. And the most people dislike her again because of the media attention that followed her starting in college. That's not her fault. She ain't asked for it. All she did was play ball, and she played it very well, which is what brought the eyes on her, and also led to led to the viewership in the WNBA to increase. Now, I understand if current players or former players before Caitlyn felt like we was always here playing. We we was always here. The WNBA isn't good because of Caitlyn. It's not just because of her. The WNBA good is because there are great players that are playing. It is that simple. But you still cannot negate the fact that she did bring a new set of eyes, a new set of viewership, a new set of fans to watch the W. And all of them, yes, they started watching because of Caitlyn, but they also see how great everyone else is. And they're not just watching it just for her anymore. They're watching it because they see, oh, these girls are balling. So, I mean, that's just what it is. So I just think that we should enjoy the game, enjoy the growth of the WNBA first and foremost. Because at one point, nobody didn't care but me and a few other people. So just let the girls ball. Just let them ball out. It's not that deep. Now, last thing, and then I'm out. So Becky Hammond went ahead and apologized to y'all New York Knicks fans. And I hope y'all shut up now that she's apologized. And I feel like that apology was not sincere. She just wanted y'all to leave her alone. Okay. You won a championship. She said what she said 3 years ago. And it was based off the history of the league. She said that if Jalen Brunson is the best player on the Knicks team and everything got to go through him, they ain't going to win no championship. Problem is, she didn't lie. History shows only 2 people before Jalen Brunson did that. Isaiah Thomas and Stephen Curry. She didn't it was a take. It was a basketball take. But she went ahead and apologized so that y'all could shut up and leave her alone. Now, please shut up and leave her alone and go enjoy your championship. Simple. Y'all, I mean, and she wasn't the only one who had this take. There were several sports analysts, sports writers, those that worked in sports media that was doubting Jalen Brunson can bring the Knicks a championship. She was not the only one. But I feel as though because she was a woman, y'all felt some type of way about her saying it. And then all I kept seeing on my news feed was she owed him an apology. She owes him an apology. No, she don't. It was a basketball take. Everybody makes a basketball take. Everybody has an opinion. It's either wrong or it's not. But should she apologize for having a take? No, I wouldn't have. I'd have told him, nope, I was right. Deal with it. Period. But some people take some stuff too personal, and it's really not that deep. But Becky said what she said. She apologized to y'all. She said, "Okay, he's a 1A," but whoop-de-doo. Shut up and leave me alone. That's what I got from that apology. And she's better than me because I wouldn't have. But that's just me. But hey, until next time, y'all. We will be back on the sideline with some more banter next week. So be good.